The job landscape today is more competitive than ever. Top companies pour countless resources and time into finding the right people and getting them to join their teams. Sometimes as an individual, it can feel hopeless sending your resume into the void. You wait to hear back from a non-automated email that may never come. How then do you hope to stand out from the rest of the crowd that might be just as qualified as you? Or if you're in a trickier position, how do you land your dream job in an industry that you don't feel qualified for yet and that you don't have any experience in? If these questions feel familiar to you, stick around because we're about to discuss everything there is to know about landing your dream job. Hi friends, welcome back to the channel. My name is Cliff Weitzman. I'm the CEO of Speechify. We're now a 100-person company serving more than 10 million people who use Speechify to listen to everything. In this channel, we talk about my philosophies about life, how to maximize your happiness, and how to engineer your life to be awesome. Today, we're talking about a topic that I've had a lot of firsthand experience with people who have come to work with me at Speechify. Over the years, I've had thousands of people reach out to me, and sometimes they're not the most qualified or people who have had the most ideal resumes, but they're people that we've hired and who now lead large teams at Speechify. What they did have is an insatiable desire to learn, high loyalty to the team, the dedication to improve, fire in the belly to make themselves the best people that they can be, and constantly found ways to provide value to the organization. I'm gonna share with you how they landed their dream jobs with me and what you can do to do the same thing to land your dream job in the organizations that you admire. Before we go any further, I'd really appreciate it if you hit the subscribe button in the bottom, give a like to the video, add a comment, go check out some of the other videos on the channel. It helps other people find this content if it's useful to you, and it lets me know that we're making stuff that you appreciate. Let's get on with the video. So step one is figuring out what your dream job is. This is in some ways the most difficult part of this equation. There's a bunch of thought experiments you can do in order to find the answer to this question. One of them is to go, what can you learn about incessantly without ever getting tired? What can you spend all your time doing and never get tired of it? What is something that gives you energy to do? The other way is to discover what would be your dream job is to read a lot of books. I recommend using Speechify. I just got a message like 5 minutes ago from someone who read 1 book last year, but this past month read 8 books because they use the Speechify web app to listen to them. So find biographies of people who you might be inspired by and listen to their lives. Whether it be the Wright brothers who invented the plane, or Edison who invented the light bulb, or Helen Keller, learn about other people's lives and see if something in their lives sparks your interest. The next thing you should try is talk to other people around you who have different jobs. Maybe you have a family friend who is a surgeon. Maybe you have a family friend who is working at a startup. Maybe you have a family friend who is a videographer. Explore those things. And then try different things as much as you can. One of the best things I've seen friends do is apply to a job and do it for maybe 6 months or a year and then switch to another thing that they might find very interesting. The university system is a little bit broken, especially in the United States. You don't at all need to go to college in order to get a job at a really, really good company.
There's no need even to have a college degree.
You just need to be able to provide value. There's a saying, people don't quit jobs, they quit bosses. But the same is true for the jobs that you pick. More than the job, find the most amazing person that you are inspired by and work underneath them. The head of marketing for this company, or the head of sales for this company, or the CEO of this company. I think that their life mission is amazing, and I think that the way they move through the universe is incredible, and I want to be more like them, and I want to be in their sphere of influence. So message that person and see if you can add value to them. It's like, this is a very, very cool concept, which is you can send a cold message to anybody, and if you provide value, they will respond. So let me tell you a secret. Most people do check their email and the messages that they get on LinkedIn and the other inbox on Instagram. So I do not check them necessarily, but someone on my team does. And if there's a good message, they show it to me and I respond to it. Even if you send, something to customer support for Speechify, which is, manned by many, many people, if there's a message that is addressed to Cliff Weitzman, I get a picture of it. I'll see it. It's just the quality needs to be good enough that I'll respond. Okay, so what goes into a really good cold email or cold Instagram message that will actually garner a response? Number one, it needs to be short. If it's long, I'm not gonna read it. I don't have the time in the day to do that. So keep it under a paragraph. And here's the structure that you wanna hit. Hi, name. I admire you for the following reason. Make it specific. Give them a compliment. Make them feel good about themselves already. Validated. 2 sentences about why you're awesome. Won this competition, student here, built this, created that, have this ambition, etc. Have the following skills. 2 sentences, no more. I'd love to help you with X. I'd love to help you make YouTube videos that will convert at a higher rate than your current videos. I'd love to recreate the thumbnails of your YouTube videos. I'd love to write an email drip campaign for how to increase the conversion rate of people who download Speechify. I'd love to help you buy ads on Yahoo Finance. Whatever it might be, pick a skill. I see that you have a WordPress website, but it's not translated into Mandarin. I'd love to do that for you. And then connect with them either over Instagram or LinkedIn or email or text message and see if you can get a response. If you don't get a response, message again. And then here's how to brute force any system in the world. Open a Google Sheet, numbered 1 to 100, and then write down the names of 100 CEOs that you admire. For each one of these people, include their Instagram, their LinkedIn, and their email. Now I want you to reach out to each one of those person on every single one of those platforms. Write like a decent LinkedIn account and a decent Instagram account and a good intro message on Gmail with a good signature. So the signature will be like your name and then like where you went to school and what you're studying there. If you have a high GPA, you can include the GPA, and then include a link to one article that you wrote or one video that you made or one project that you created. If you're sending people messages on Instagram, especially through other inbox, I highly recommend using a voice note so they can hear your voice and hear your excitement. And it's also like a surprise. They don't know what's in the message, so they want to kind of listen to the message. Okay, send people all those 3 messages and then mark in another column in Google Sheets, did you send the message? And then come back to that sheet a week later and follow up on every single one of those platforms. And if you do that 3 times, I guarantee you'll get a response. There's almost no chance that people will not respond to you if you do this. As CEO of Speechify, I do this all the time. You might be amazed, but I do. But the point is that if you send people messages that are curated well and describe why you think they're awesome, how you're gonna add value to them, and why you're legit, and suggest a specific time to meet. Typically, I'll suggest 2 days and a time. So like, could you be free for a Zoom call 2 or 3 p.m. on Monday or Tuesday this week? The other thing you can do in the email is say, hey, I really admire what you're doing. I don't know how I can add value. What is something I can do to save you 3 hours this week? Most people, if they're creative, will come up with an answer. Let's say you get in this call with this executive and they go, you're amazing. I want you to work with us. And then they send you a contract, you sign the contract, you have a start date. If you want to be amazing, suggest that you can start working tomorrow, like the next week, like the sooner the better, because time kills deals. So don't leave a lot of time for you to lose the opportunity. Just start as soon as possible. You start working on the job. Cool. The first thing you should go to your CEO or whoever you're reporting to, but also who they're reporting to, and ask them, what is your 3 biggest struggles right now? And what's the 3 biggest opportunities in the company right now? You can probably alleviate one of their 3 biggest struggles by just taking on the job. And if you do that, you're invaluable. They'll raise your salary and they'll never ever let you leave the company. And the 3 biggest opportunities, just help them work towards these things and ask them questions and be curious. 2, any startup, the number 1 rule is talk to users. Talk to users, talk to users, talk to users. And talking to users is hard. It takes time, it takes energy. The CEO typically doesn't have time to do it. So if you go talk to 20 users and you write down what they say and you provide it in a very digestible way to the CEO, that's really valuable. And it'll also show them that you understand the business and care about the business to a degree that other people don't. So the first thing I would do if you work for a company is go do 20 user interviews with people in person or over the phone or over Zoom about how they use the product, why, and ask them questions. And bear in mind the 3 challenges and the 3 opportunities that the CEO or executive team are facing. Next, be responsive. If they message you, quickly respond. And also initiate with them, message them these types of questions. And then deliver results. At the end of the day, that's the most important. So one day, I got a cold message from a guy. It followed the format that I suggested. Simeon Kostadinov, who at the time was in Bulgaria. He didn't know iOS development at the time, so I gave him a job to redesign our website, to recode our website off of a design. I went to sleep, I woke up in the morning, it was done. It was done. He did it in 1 night. It wasn't perfect, but he delivered an MVP, minimum viable product. So whenever you build anything, use minimum viable product methodology. You can read more about it in the Lean Startup, the book. Deliver something that does the minimum of the final end product. It doesn't need to be polished, but just like put it out there into the world. Speed is really important. If your boss suggests that you do something and you respond a couple of hours later with it done, even if the quality is low, that's really high value. So then, we went through like 15 more iterations of the website and it was done. He was like, how else can I help? I was like, well, I want to build a scraper that will go doing this, and then I want to build a Chrome extension, I want to do this, and then eventually got him an apartment, got him a visa, moved him out to the US, got him a green card. He became head of engineering at Speechify. Now he runs engineering and operations. Simon leads a 70-person team at Speechify. Also, take responsibility, take ownership, take initiative. That's how to quickly get promoted and become invaluable to the company that you're working with. So, how do you land your dream job? Number 1, figure out what it is. And more than finding the dream job, find the dream boss. Like, who is the person you want to learn from? And then be incessant about following up with them. Number 2 is make a list and then follow up with everybody on that list. So do the cold outreach, use that kind of email template. And number 3 is once you get that job, add value to them. Figure out what's the 3 biggest struggles, what's the 3 biggest opportunities, and how can you save them time? That's it, that's the game. And what's cool if you do this is you will grow so fast. You won't need to pay for additional college if you do it younger. If you're already doing another job, either as an engineer, as a PM, or as a designer, you can always switch positions. And hey, let's say you want to work at Speechify. You're like, this is really cool. I want to help make the internet accessible. I want to create the voice of the internet. I want to work with this team of 100 people who's going to be 300 people next year. Email Simeon@speechify.com or Cliff@speechify.com. And tell us why you're awesome, why you want to work with us, and how you can create value for us. Include your resume, include a link to your GitHub or your LinkedIn, or message me on LinkedIn or Instagram. And if you send a good message, we'll respond. And with that, happy listening, hit subscribe, hit like, leave a comment. If you found this useful, share it with a friend. Check out some of the other videos on the channel, especially the video about building a $1 trillion company. That's a really good one. You're gonna find your dream job. It's easier than you think. So happy hunting, and as always, happy listening.